should have been called right after. You're trying to tell me you didn't know your son was missing? I have 4 siblings, and if my mom does not hear you breathing in an hour, she starts going on a search. Stay tuned as we talk about the most problematic Christmas movies of the season. All right, welcome back to another episode of Haire. Thank you for joining for another Vlogmas episode. So today we're talking about the most problematic movies. We will be discussing The Grinch, Who Stole Christmas, starring Jim Carrey. We're going to be discussing Home Alone, starring Macaulay Culkin, and everybody from the 90s. And then we will also be talking about, who did I put on here? One second, the Santa Claus. I have it on there because I was like, Santa Claus or the Santa Claus? The Santa Claus. So coming in at number 3, we're going to be talking about the Santa Claus. So the Santa Claus, just so you know, a brief, this one has 2 sequels to it, Santa Claus 2 and Santa Claus 3, basically Tim Allen, Buzz Lightyear, for us childish people. Basically, he plays a father who... he's working all the time. He's a businessman, and basically he has shared custody of his wife and her new man, who's a psychologist who overanalyzes everything he does, and he never has time for his kid, and he's always canceling. So one day on Christmas Eve, basically the Santa Claus was on the roof, I guess, doing pre-work, and then like they switch places, and he ends up being the Santa Claus and takes his son for a ride for whatever. He becomes a Santa Claus, and then the second one he has to find a wife, and the third one he's tired of being a Santa Claus because in-laws suck. All right, so my issue with the movie was always the fact that I guess there was no cameras in the 90s, because the first thing that I would have saw was on the Ring doorbell camera. I don't know, intruder spotted, like intruder spotted on top. Intruder spotted on top. Did you guys see that? Like, it would have been all over the Ring doorbell community. I don't know, like that was also a thing that was also problematic. Another thing that was problematic is just that I want y'all to be grown-ups with me, okay? Like, I want y'all to be grown-ups with me. What I mean by that is the fact that I can't, for whatever reason, understand why people think that they're going to get a lot of money by working 2 hours a week. And you need to understand if you can handle that or not. Like, I've watched plenty of times. I mean, he's literally Santa, but I've watched plenty of times of, like, I want to say it's still running. So there's a show that's going to tie to it. Stay with me. Don't go too far. Married to Medicine is basically when, like a reality show for people who are married to like doctors, whatever. So one of the wives on there is like, my husband's a cardiac pediatrician, right? So basically they work on hearts for kids. And she was like, I just don't ever see him. It's so frustrating. Yes, I'll have the caviar and a gold plate, of course. Like, wait a minute. Like, where do you think that money come from? Like, at the end of the day, I knew off rip, like the person who I would be with would be somebody who's going to help me with these kids in the future. I'm not going to get married to somebody who was basically, I'm essentially going to be a single married mom. And that's so common. Like, not saying it's right, you should balance, but like, maybe you might want to look in a different dating pool of people like that. A cardiac surgeon is always on call, because you don't know when the transplant comes in. They're always gonna be on call. Like, why would you get married to somebody knowing that going into it? Don't be saying, oh, I didn't know. You have common sense and you have Google. Like, I don't understand. That was really confusing. So with this lining up to Mr. Claus, I was just like, she was like, oh my God, you never make, like, because in the second movie he meets his, Mrs. Claus in the third movie, like, they started have issues because, like, he's always trying to the kids in Bulgaria didn't have their presents this year. We got to figure that out. And she's like, you never have time for me. Mama, he met you busy. Like, I don't understand. That's why I said it was problematic, because I'm actually on Mr. Claus's side. I was like, wait a minute. Like, he met you busy. Like, why did you think that this was going to change because y'all in a relationship now? Like, it's really frustrating when I see situations, even in real life, where people don't want to get real. Like, they want to live in this fantasy world where your husband can work 1,000,000 hours, but somehow have time to come home and help you with the kids. Like, it's not going to happen. Like, I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like, that's a lot of money. Okay. Second problematic movie is The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. First of all, Jim Carrey needs to be checked for his back for carrying that entire movie. I don't even know who else is in it. You know, like, I don't even know who else is in it. Cindy Lou Who, the actress, Taylor, or whatever, she was on Gossip Girl, but he carried that. Like, there's still some days where I'm just like, I'm not going. Like, I got it from when he didn't feel like going out or whatever because he couldn't find an outfit. So I don't know. There's been plenty of times where I feel that same sentiment. Like, if I don't find an outfit, if the outfit's not giving, like, there's like sometimes where, like, if the lighting for the video is not on point, I'm not gonna film. Like, I'm not gonna film. So I felt that, but yeah, he carried that movie. But what's problematic is that y'all have an aversion to people who are green. Wicked. You have a version of people who are green. I don't like that, because honestly, like, everybody in Hoopfield is funny looking. Like, the fact that they were like, oh my God, he has green skin. I was just like, oh my God, y'all noses look wild. Like, it was kind of weird that they were like getting mad at him for being green. But I was like, y'all all funny looking. Like, what's up with the third layer floor of hair? Like, I don't know what's going on. But I didn't like the fact that it kind of taught isolation a little bit about, like, you know, some people are want to be isolated, but I didn't like that the movie taught that like, if you're different, you have to conform to everybody else. Because it wasn't until he started being nice was that they accepted him. Because my thing is, like, sometimes you're just different. Like, growing up, especially, you know, being in a perfectionist household, pretty much, as you can tell. But being in a perfectionist household, like, not being able to, like, truly be yourself, like, I don't feel like they really accepted the Grinch. They didn't start vibing with him. I know, you know, it's not that deep, I know, but, like, they didn't really, when you think about it, they didn't really accept the Grinch. Like, they wasn't vibing until his heart grew 3 times as big. I was like, now you messing with him. But when he had a small heart, I was like, he needs to change. The little dog carrying all the gifts, you know, like, I know it's make believe, but I don't know what world that little peep squeak dog would carry all that weight. I don't know how. I don't know how he would have been able to carry all that. Like, that didn't really make any sense. Another thing too as well was that, like, the girl that he grew up with that had a crush on him, she was like, oh, you're so green. I was like, not you fetishizing her. Can I say that word? No? Okay. But I was like, not you only liking him because of his skin tone. Like, that was also kind of wild. That was kind of weird. Also, all that noise he made and no one noticed anything. Like, I was kind of confused. Also, how is he on the side of the mountain? How is he on the side of the mountain? Like, how does he get Wi-Fi up there? Because he was running like a whole little contraption up there. Like, he built stuff. I was like, okay, how are you getting water on the side of the mountain? And then, like, why did they banish you up there? Like, there's no food up there. Like, I don't know. I mean, besides his onions that he be eating, but, like, there was no, like, I was kind of confused. Like, yeah, banished him because of that. And then, no one ever explained why is he green. I mean, we got to see for, you know, part 2 of The Wicked next year, but I don't know. Like, did they ever, I gotta go look back. Like, I want to say he just kind of was on a doorstep, like Harry Potter, and, he was just in a basket, but they never said, like, why he's green. And another thing too that I was kind of confused was that, now how come no one else was green? I mean, like, with Elphaba, like, no one else was green too. So I don't know. I guess plot's got a plot. We got to find it. I did like the fact that they built a little bit more of the lore because Dr. Seuss, who wrote the book, right? Is Dr. Seuss? It sounds like it's Dr. Seuss book. It do. It's been a while. Stay with me now. But the Dr. Seuss book is like, what, 7 pages? 7 pages, and they turn into a 2-hour movie. Like, I don't know how they were able to, like, you know, spread the lore of that without it getting boring. But I did appreciate that. It's a classic. Now, I know they did try to make, like, the cartoon version of it, or, like, the 3D digital art version, but I didn't like it. I was like, ugh. I watched it for 2 minutes. Like, it doesn't have Jim Carrey. Also, I don't know who needs to hear this, but don't make a part 2. We're good. Like, I don't know if there's a petition for me to sign, I can sign that, but we don't need a part 2. Thank you. All right, number one coming in at CPS is Home Alone. First things first. First things first. The way she was keeping inventory of them kids, that's the first. We'll get to that. Let's talk about the price. Okay, so I went for my sister. Y'all saw the vlog. I went for my sister's birthday last year in Las Vegas. For me, just for me, solamente, on sale, myself, it was $500 back and forth for just the plane ticket. You trying to tell me you flew, I'm assuming it's Michigan, it looked cold. You flew 8 people minimum from there to Paris or something. I don't know where they went for Christmas on one flight, and everybody got tickets. Listen, forget CPS. Let's call the IRS. I already know off rip. There is BS afoot. There is a BS afoot. There's no way you can sit there and tell me that you had enough money, because it definitely gives, like when HGTV be like, I'm a professional pencil sharpener and he plays Xbox on the weekends. Our budget's $500,000. Like who is paying for this? Like who is paying the bills? I looked at the house and I was like, the house too, once again, I don't know where I feel like, I know it's a movie, but I was like, sometimes I feel like I'm playing the game wrong. You have that big house. They never said what she did, and people try to debunk it and said she did marketing. I don't care what. No, she marketed something. Okay, she's marketing something that she can't write on the books, because there's no way you can make that much money. Okay, now let's go in relationship to the child. First things first. When you go through TSA, okay? Fun fact, okay? Security, right? This is basically security for the airport. Fun fact, when you go through TSA and you have tickets and it's more than one ticket, they ask you, are those people with you? Maybe it's the one in Tampa that does it, but they ask you if those people are with you, because my sister had bought tickets for both of us one time we went to Louisiana, and when she got up there, they were like, hey, is so-and-so, is Claire with you? Is this person with you? Okay. So when they went to TSA and you saw that, they saw that you bought 8 tickets. That doesn't make any sense how you can sit there and be like, oh, like how you can sit there and be like, oh, they bought 8 tickets and yet and yet 2 people popped up that was missing. Because I think Kevin was missing. I think somebody else was missing, but no one cared about this person. But I know Kevin wasn't the only person who was missing. But you trying to sit here and tell me, friend, like you trying to sit here and tell me that you didn't notice your kid was missing? Like, even, I don't have any kids, but even when I'm at a party and I see 10 kids there, I mentally keep track of how many kids are in the vicinity, okay? Because the math's not mathing to me on how you can sit there and say, oh, Kevin. I was like, and then on top of that, even if mama forgot, that's fine. Mama got a lot going on. The dad, the cousin, no one else. You didn't notice the car felt a little different. You didn't notice the car had a different weight to it. Like, you're not making sense. Like, I'll end my point here, but that's why I say Home Alone, and then on top of it, they had Home Alone 2, 3, I think 4, 3 and 4 don't count because Macaulay wasn't in it. But not only had one time that they forgot, I got them again. Because to me, if I see that I forgot you the first time, which would never happen. I'm not saying I'm a perfect parent, but I do have photographic memory, and I know how many people was here. Even if I forgot you the first time, the second time, you on lockdown, okay? All right? Wherever you go, when you move, I move. Just like that. For real. I will be right there wherever you at. You'll be the first person packed in the car. All right? And then on top of that, like, I understand he was trying to evade these robbers, but in a regular case, Macaulay would have been gone, all right? Because most people who break into your house are not afraid to go to jail, all right? So if you are a cynic like me, if you want me to do more movies like this, put suggestions in below. I love being a cynic. Thank you guys so much as you support me during this Vlogmas journey. And don't forget to subscribe and share. It's Claire here.